We're now trying the up and under, getting a good run towards Abby, but there are again the two Simtex getting in our way. They're a lap down. This is all about how the Simtex behave. I have to go off the track even. Welcome back to the 6th round of our 1994 Lotus Farewell season in Automobilista 2, where today we're racing at the Silverstone circuit, which in real life was one of the most controversial races and most influential races of the season for the championship fight. Damon Hill won from pole, but what looks like a relaxed Sunday drive, winning by over a minute, was drama from the formation lap on. Michael Schumacher, who started second, overtook Hill twice on the formation lap and was handed a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for that, which the Benetton team did not serve. Subsequently, Schumacher was shown the black flag, disqualifying from the race, which the Benetton team again ignored. Benetton were fined after the race, and Schumacher was banned for 2 races following this incident, which would later lead to a close and controversial season finale at Adelaide, but we will talk about that when we get there. Alessandro Zanardi did not finish this race, as after just 4 laps, his Mugen Honda engine gave in, after the best qualifying performance of his season so far. I will aim for another points finish today with Zanardi, as Silverstone is traditionally a track where we have done well in the past, and pace-wise, we have been there all season long. We just got AI'd, or I messed up in these past races, minus Barcelona and Interlagos, of course. But yeah, you already see the starting grid, where we will again have to go down to P19 to see Zanardi, but at least we start ahead of our teammate Johnny Herbert for the first time this season. So, with all that talked about, let's go racing at the British Grand Prix 1994. Well, and here we are on the grid, and well, P19 is in an awkward spot, halfway round Woodcote, but well, we have to make do with that, and it's a treacherous getaway, as we have to be careful on the throttle trying to make that turn, and side by side with Wendlinger, our arch nemesis this season, we go into Cobb's corner for the very first time, and that was a very good start, as we are already up to P16 as we enter Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. We have to drop back from the Ligier ahead of us a bit, but we maintain P16, and now on towards the Hanger Straight towards Stowe for the first time. We go the fastest part of the circuit. You see a lot of overtakes these days there, but it's just not a very heavy braking zone, so you have to almost be alongside on the straight already to try and make the move. Now towards Club we go. Might see a few overtakes here later on, as we are already trying it. Alongside Bernard, we were there briefly, but we have to settle for P16 still. Now, through the fast left-hander that is Abbey we go. Through bridge, 2 very fast corners. We go off the track, as we try to carry a bit too much speed through the downhill right-hander. And then through Priory, and then Luffield, which is a double apex right-hander back in the day, not the one flowy corner that we have nowadays. And then through Woodcote, and that is already lap 1 done. Oh, and into Cobbs, they are all on the inside. Oh, and there is a spin for Eddie Irvine, and a lot of cars got held up there. I think there was also Frenson, but now we're up to P13. And let's look at a replay, and I have an awful suspicion. Was it Frenson again? Is Frenson again taking out another car in the opening stages of the race? And again Irvine, he did that in Barcelona already. Let's look at it, there they go. Oh, was that Frenson really? It looks like, again, this was caused by Frenson, but let's look at the onboard from the Sauber driver, and I was wrong this time. Actually, that was Irvine himself trying to go for a move that never worked, so Frenson innocent this time. How about that for a change? Well, we're already alongside Pierluigi Martini on the end of lap 2, trying to move up another 2 positions as he's in a battle with Ukyo Katayama, who is a bit of a roadblock right now. He was also at the head of the group with Irvine and Frentzen, who are now somewhere down the field. Poor exit out of that corner, and that is now a tougher job to try and get past Martini and Katayama. We get a good exit out of Chapel on towards the hangar straight. We are alongside Martini. Katayama blocks the inside. We try to hang on round the outside. Martini gets on the inside curve there in Stowe a bit. He loses momentum as we are side by side going through Vale towards Club. But we have to back out of that move for the moment, that is, at least. I'll try the up and under, but we'll just get blocked there by Katayama. And now towards Abbey, is there an opportunity? We have a look round the outside to be on the inside for Bridge. Oh, there is a yellow flag. And I've learned my lesson, I back out. Wouldn't be allowed to do an overtake anyway either. And I think that yellow flag was caused by the McLaren up front. That is Mika Hakkinen. So he must have had a moment there. Green flags are out. And he immediately peels into the pit, so I suppose he has some damage. We will see a replay later, but for now we're focusing on the fight we have with the Tyrrell Yamaha of Ukyo Katayama. And that battle still rages on into left 4. And now we get a wheel alongside him on the inside, as he was really making this one difficult for us. But out of the final proper corner we go. We're side by side on towards the pit straight. But that should be it now, and we're up into the top 10 already by the end of lap 4. So, an incredible first couple of laps of this race. And yeah, as I promised, here now is the replay of what happened to Mika Hakkinen. This is him going through Abbey. He's just behind the race leaders in P4 at this moment. Oh, and he just loses it! Turning into Bridge, and then into the concrete wall he goes. So I guess there is some front wing damage that we can't see, or maybe even suspension damage. And yeah, I guess that is why he went into the pits immediately. He did not retire, so he went on, and he is now just ahead of us. So when I was racing, I thought that I am catching up to P9 at the moment, especially after I saw it was a McLaren, so that was actually believable to have a McLaren P9. And then I realized that he was being incredibly slow through the S's. And the reason for that is that he's getting blue flags and actually is trying to let us by, because that is Mika Hakkinen, so this pass here is not for position, but Häkkinen went a lap down here. Now, why did I show you this? Because, well, Mika was being annoying now, as he tried to unlap himself again, as I was trying to chase down Mark Blondell in the second Tyrrell. That is now the car that you see ahead of us, and this time this actually will be for position. So, let's enjoy the chase to the sound of the V12 engines here. As you were able to see that through the S's, Häkkinen was really an annoyance there in my mirrors. Again, he's having a look around or outside. And again, I'm busy watching my mirrors instead of fighting the Tyrrell ahead, which, yeah, really shouldn't be. So I guess this is also some sort of impeding that Häkkinen is doing. But now, out of club, towards Abbey, we get a great run, and down the inside we go past. Now, a quick note on the track layout. This was actually not quite the layout used in 1994. Well, this final section of the track with Lovefield being two right-handers, that was actually still true in 1994. They only changed this in 97, I think. But Abbey wasn't the fast left-hander after Pedro Lamy, who originally drove that number 11 Lotus, had a horrifying crash at this section of the track in a test for the Lotus team. So this was when the chicane at Abbey was introduced. That was used from 1994 onwards. But as we said, well, all of the accidents of 1994 didn't happen in our universe. Lamy didn't drive for Lotus in the first place. It was Zanardi from the get-go, pretty much, which is a bit of a historical inaccuracy here. But, yeah. Anyway, let's head back, or focus back, on the race at hand, as we are now getting close to the Benetton of Jos Verstappen. Already we are close to the back of that Benetton, and this time we won't spend too much time looking at another rear wing. So into Priory. I am late on the brakes. There is a bit of a lockup on the front left, but we make it past Verstappen. He has a little look down our inside again, but no chance for him to counter our attack. So pretty straightforward, this one, into P8. There is a bit of a lockup, as I said, but yeah, should be fine. The pit stops are not too far away, so just a couple of laps. Around 7 liters per lap is what we use, so just under 5 laps of fuel still remain in the car. As for the first time, we are lapping the two Simtex of Brabham and Ratzenberger. So onto the pit straight we go. Well, I was thinking about the points maybe. Is there a chance today? Well, I go through cops, I run a bit wide, I grind on the curb there, and as soon as I try to get on the power, then I spin my car around. I keep it out of the wall, but that is a couple of seconds. And of course, crucially, the position that we just gained a couple of laps earlier against Jos Verstappen. That is that one lost, so back into P9. Just a couple of laps later, we rejoin my race, as there was a bit of good news as Verstappen once again was approaching another lapped car. This is the La Route of Olivier Beretta. And he catches him right into club, and he loses a lot of time behind the Monegasque driver, while we make it through effortlessly. So this is at least one, maybe a bit more than 1 second gained in just 1 or 2 corners. And again through bridge. Priory we go. We will have to stop at the end of the next lap. Let's see what Verstappen does, because now all of the cars will be pretty close to their fuel limit. And Verstappen goes in. So this lap is crucial now. With a light car, we still have some decent tire life. So let's push as much as we can on that in lap and try to beat Jos Verstappen into the pits with that 1 lap advantage that we got now. Just missing a teeny tiny bit of fuel. Otherwise we would have even been able to make it 1 lap longer, but we have to come in now. And this is a pretty crucial pit stop, because this is actually for position. We were right after Jos Verstappen in P9 ahead of our pit stop. We gained 2 positions as Martin Brundle in the second McLaren was also in. But I don't expect us to beat him in the pits. I think he will easily get past us again. Not so sure though about Jos Verstappen. Ahead of us, this is our teammate Johnny Herbert, and as predicted, Brundle is already through. Well, this is crucial. Look at the top left. Will it stay P8? If so, we are ahead of Jos Verstappen, and we actually are. So this is fantastic news, as this is another position gain. We're just 2 positions out of the points. Well, here is the thing. We're now getting close to Martin Brundle, and this would put us in the prime position to be the benefactor should anything happen to the top 6. But we need a bit of luck, because the gap ahead of Brundle is way too big to Barrichello, who currently is the car in P6. But never say never. We saw it happen to Ayrton Senna in a secure 2nd place at Montreal. But now let's focus on the battle here first. We can't influence what is going on with the top 6, but we can very well influence this, as this was very, very easy. Brundle getting a poor exit there out of cops, and unusual spot even to overtake. But oh dear, don't think this one is over, as we are exiting the hangar straight. I can already tell you, strap yourselves in. You are about to witness one of the battles of the season. Here I'm a bit cautious then on the brakes. Brundle uses this, dives down our inside, side by side through Stowe. We go approaching Klopp, still side by side. We have the inside line, but we are a bit conservative on the brakes. I release them, almost slide into the side there of Brundle. We just avoid the McLaren as we are now trying the up and under, getting a good run towards Abbey, but there are again the two Simtex getting in our way. They're a lap down. This is all about how the Simtex behave. I have to go off the track even, and that is, oh, very poor run there through bridge as Brabham gets in our way, and Brundle is back up to P7. We lost a couple of car lengths there. That was a very hairy moment. We chose the wrong side of the road there going through Abbey, or well, we only had the outside for us, and there was just no room. But this battle is still not over, as going out on the pit straight through Woodcote, we are still close to the McLaren. We are getting a good run, and then into Cobb side by side. This has gone wrong so many times in the history of Formula 1. This time it does go right, but side by side we still approach the S's. Here come Maggots and Beckett's. We edge ahead slightly, but then Brundle keeps the throttle pinned down, and he retakes 7th yet again. Out Chapel we go. Getting a good run, but we're forced round the outside. This is the long way. Last lap, Brundle took us down the inside into Stowe. This time I'm later on the brakes, and finally I get ahead, and I manage to put my car in front of Brundle. He's now a couple of car lengths back, and then there is some back markers that come at exactly the right times for us. That is Alboreto, Morbidelli, and then finally the Ligier of Eric Bernard, and Brundle kind of get held up there behind them, so we are up to P7. Once again, let's look at that battle from the outside. A whole lap that we spent side by side, on and off at least, with Martin Brundle. And we start as he just retakes P7, and I will just let you enjoy that battle once again as I stay silent this time. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we love Silverstone. So back to the live images, we are already on the final lap. And well, the gap to Barrichello is still over 11 seconds. So unfortunately, no retirements for the top 6. So yeah, just no chance to get into the point scoring positions from where we started. Pace-wise, we would have been okay. We gained 3 seconds over these last couple of laps when we passed Martin Brundle to Barrichello, but yeah, just not enough, and too late in the race that we were even in 7th. But still, I think we can be quite proud on that result, and finally, apart from that one spin, everything went right for us. So yeah, we're back. And now let's of course look at the point scorers of today. Michael Schumacher returns to winning ways for the first time since Monaco, and Hill and Senna finish in 2nd and 3rd respectively. And then it's the 2 Ferraris and Rubens Barrichello. In the championship, that means that Schumacher is now again 4 points clear of Hill in second. Senna, due to the poor qualifying form that actually David Coulthard showed in real life, he is only down in third. Over 10 points now, 14 to be exact, behind Schumacher. And then it's Alesi, Berger and Häkkinen completing the top 6. And then on the second page you see us, as we are 9th. Barrichello needs to be mentioned, really in great form this season so far. Martin Brundle equal on points with us, and it's actually crucial that we beat him today, because on countback we retain 9th. Would he have finished 7th today and us down in 8th, he would have overtaken us in the championship, so that battle was actually worth something for the moment. And in the Constructors' Championship, Williams is still 20 points ahead of Benetton, Ferrari then 21 points further behind the Italian team. McLaren is being challenged by Jordan, actually, who are just 2 points behind them. And then Lotus, thanks to our P6 finish at Barcelona, is the final team classified with a point. And that has been it with the British Grand Prix 1994. The next race will be at the Hockenheimring as we go racing at the German Grand Prix. Subscribe to not miss that. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.